I'm not optimistic about the sesquicentennial. America has changed. Not so much the feeling America has changed. This country is so polarized now, it's so politicized. The economy isn't correct for it. I think the nation's going to have a difficult time commemorating the sesquicentennial. Back in 1957, this was a languid time, a peaceful time. We were not fighting anyone. The economy was solid. The biggest issue of the day was building the interstate highway system. America was ready to mark a moment of the past, and now loomed the Civil War, the greatest moment in the American past. And so Americans had a great time with it. It started off with too great a time and had to be brought somewhat under control. But nowadays, local governments can't even attend to present needs, much less appropriate money to honor the past. So I think many communities are having financial trouble getting geared up for the sesquicentennial. But I think even more than that, the mood of the country is just not one to mark the past and with a sense of unity.
One hopes that what we do this time, more than anything, is to reap the harvest of the remarkable revolutions that have occurred in the study of history, in the teaching of history, in scholarship and research, and in public history, historic sites, museums, etc. And what that really means is this time we will not only stress commemorating the war, which is very important, how the war was fought, why the war was fought, how it was won, how it was lost, etc., but also the story of emancipation. At the center of the story has been now for the last 40 to 50 years, and should be, is this revolution in the freeing of 4 million slaves, and then in effect that causing the reinvention of the American Republic. This time we don't have a national commission, which Bud was on. Congress hasn't gotten involved really at all. And part of the reason, I don't know if Bud told you, is because last time 50 years ago, there were a lot of debacles, terrible debacles, especially around race and especially in this city. The big difference is that at the time of the centennial, we were undergoing the civil rights movement. But as I'll point out tonight, what happened, I mean, it was though it was in the late 50s and early 60s, it was as though the Civil War centennial and the civil rights movement were two completely separate phenomena. They almost never connected. There were people who tried to connect them, but as you might guess, I mean, it was a terribly divisive, chaotic time, and there was a kind of a blue-gray centennial, and then a black and white civil rights movement, and the two never found their way into the same room. This time they will, in terms of memory. The people running the commission at that point wanted absolutely nothing to do with commemorating slavery, emancipation, black experience whatsoever. They didn't even know about it, to be honest. They didn't even know it. There were certainly historians around they could consult who did, but there were many other debacles as well.
I don't know whether it will create as much of as much interest as the centennial of the Civil War did. I don't think it will, because we've gone through it before. Of course, a lot of people today don't remember that, but I do. And as far as bringing the sections together, I don't think it'll have much effect there. I think it's appropriate to celebrate it. It's the single most traumatic historical event in American history. And in terms of popular interest, the most interesting event in American history. I mean, there's books on the Civil War coming out all the time, and they get large readerships.
Well, first of all, I think Charleston is very fortunate to be first for a lot of reasons. It corresponds, of course, with the first secession, with the first bloodshed in the war, the firing on Fort Sumter, And there's every reason for Charleston to be in the forefront of all of this, and South Carolina as well. And I think at best we can have a dialogue about what this war means to us now and what it has meant to us over the course of 150 years.